Life is full of ups and downs. We feel joy, sadness, anger, and everything in between. But sometimes our emotions can feel overwhelming. They can feel like they're controlling us rather than the other way around. Wouldn't it be amazing to understand and manage our emotions better? This is the power of emotional mastery. It's about developing self-awareness and learning practical tools to manage our emotional responses. In this video, we're going to explore the key insights from Thibaut Meurisse's book, Master Your Emotions. This book provides a practical roadmap for understanding and managing our emotional landscape. Let's dive in. Imagine your emotions as the dashboard of a car. Just like speedometers and warning lights, our emotions provide us with valuable information. They are signals telling us what we're experiencing and what we need. Just like we wouldn't ignore a warning light on our car's dashboard. It's important to pay attention to our emotional signals. They are trying to tell us something. Let's say you're driving down the road and suddenly someone cuts you off. Your immediate reaction might be anger, frustration, or even fear. This is your body's natural response to what it perceives as a threat. But here's the thing. Your emotional reaction isn't just about the event itself. It's also about how you interpret that event. If you believe that the other driver cut you off intentionally, you're more likely to experience intense anger. But what if you considered another possibility? What if the other driver simply didn't see you? By shifting your perspective, you can dramatically change your emotional experience. Instead of reacting with anger, you might feel a sense of understanding or even compassion. This doesn't mean you have to condone reckless driving. It simply means choosing to respond to the situation in a way that serves you better. Remember, you can't control what happens to you on the road, but you can control how you react to it. Awareness is the first step to emotional mastery. By becoming more aware of our emotional reactions, we can start to choose more helpful responses. Our thoughts have a powerful influence on our emotions. They can either lift us up or drag us down. Sometimes we get caught in what Thibaut Meurisse calls thinking traps. These are unhelpful thought patterns that distort our perception of reality and fuel negative emotions. Imagine this. Your friend cancels plans at the last minute. Immediately, your mind jumps to conclusions. They're mad at me, you think. I must have done something wrong. This is an example of mind reading, a common thinking trap, where we assume we know what others are thinking without any real evidence. Another trap is catastrophizing, where we imagine worst-case scenarios, blowing things out of proportion. These negative thought patterns can trigger a cascade of unwanted emotions, leading to stress, anxiety, and self-doubt. By becoming aware of them and learning how to challenge them, we can free ourselves from their grip and cultivate a more positive mindset. One effective way to challenge negative thoughts is to ask ourselves a few simple questions. Meurisse suggests asking, is there any evidence for this thought? Often, when we examine our negative thoughts more closely, we realize that they are based on assumptions, not facts. Instead of assuming they're angry with you, ask yourself, is there any real evidence to support this thought? By questioning our assumptions, we can open ourselves up to other, more positive possibilities. Instead of letting our thoughts run wild with worries and doubts, let's make a conscious effort to ground them in reality. Look for evidence to support or refute your negative thoughts. Talk to a trusted friend or family member to get a different perspective. Remember, our thoughts are not always a reflection of the truth. By learning to challenge and reframe our negative thoughts, we can break free from their hold and create a more positive inner world. Imagine your beliefs as the blueprint of a house. These beliefs, formed over many years, shape the very foundation of our thoughts, feelings, and actions. They influence how we see ourselves, the world, and our place within it. Just like a blueprint guides the construction of a house, our beliefs guide our emotional responses. Some beliefs are positive and empowering, like I am capable, I am worthy of love, or the world is full of opportunities. These beliefs nurture our emotional well-being, fostering confidence, resilience, and a sense of hope. However, some beliefs can be limiting and unhelpful. They can manifest as negative self-talk, fear of failure, or difficulty forming healthy relationships. This process of identifying and challenging limiting beliefs is crucial for emotional mastery. Often, our limiting beliefs operate on an unconscious level, like hidden scripts that play out repeatedly in our lives. We might find ourselves reacting in the same negative ways to similar situations, feeling stuck in patterns of self-sabotage or emotional reactivity. To break free from these hidden scripts, we need to bring them into our conscious awareness. Meurisse suggests asking ourselves powerful questions like, where did this belief come from? Is this belief based on fact or on my own insecurities? Once we've identified our limiting beliefs, we can start to challenge and reframe them. We can choose to replace those old, unhelpful stories with new, empowering ones that support our emotional well-being and personal growth. It's a process of consistent self-reflection, self-compassion, and a willingness to challenge our own assumptions. With each step we take towards rewriting our inner narratives, we move closer to a life of greater emotional freedom and fulfillment. Expectations. They can be sneaky little things. We often hold on to them tightly, believing that if things just go according to plan, happiness and fulfillment will magically follow. But what happens when those expectations aren't met? Disappointment, frustration, even resentment can come knocking at our door. Imagine this. You've poured your heart and soul into a project at work. You've spent countless hours, gone above and beyond, and you're convinced that your efforts will be met with praise and recognition, but then the feedback isn't what you'd hoped for. The problem with expectations, Meurisse explains, is that they often set us up for a fall. The mismatch between what we anticipate and what we actually experience can leave us feeling emotionally bruised. So how do we navigate the tricky terrain of expectations without constantly setting ourselves up for disappointment? Meurisse suggests a powerful shift in perspective, from expectations to intentions. Instead of fixating on a specific outcome, we can choose to focus on the why behind our actions. By setting an intention of fostering connection and joy, you're shifting your focus away from rigid expectations and towards a more flexible, fulfilling experience. Even if the soup is a little too salty or the conversation lulls for a moment, you can still find joy in the overall intention of the evening, bringing people together. This doesn't mean we abandon all expectations altogether. It's more about holding them lightly with an open hand, recognizing that life rarely unfolds in a perfectly predictable way. When we let go of the need for things to be a certain way, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities. It's in those unexpected detours, those moments of perfectly imperfect, that we often discover the most meaningful experiences. We humans have a funny relationship with control. We crave it, often believing that if we can just manage every detail, predict every outcome, and orchestrate every interaction, then we'll finally achieve a sense of peace and security. But this relentless pursuit of control, Meurisse argues, is often a recipe for stress, anxiety, and even burnout. Think about it. How often do you find yourself worrying about things that are beyond your control? We invest precious time and energy trying to micromanage every aspect of our lives, only to discover that much of it is simply beyond our grasp. This illusion of control can be particularly draining when it comes to our emotional lives. So how do we break free from this exhausting cycle of control and find a sense of peace amidst life's inevitable uncertainties? Meurisse suggests a radical act: surrender. Not a passive resignation, but an active choice to let go of what we can't control and focus our energy on what we can. Instead of trying to control the uncontrollable, we can choose to focus on our own thoughts, feelings, and actions. We can choose how we respond to challenges, how we interpret events, and how we treat ourselves and others. This shift in focus, Meurisse reminds us, is where true empowerment lies. Imagine, for instance, that you're dealing with a difficult coworker. You can't control their behavior, but you can control how you respond. This practice of letting go, of surrendering to the present moment, is not always easy, but as we learn to release what we can't control, we create space for something truly remarkable to emerge: peace. We all have them. Those emotional hotspots that, when poked or prodded, can send us spiraling into a whirlwind of reactivity. Meurisse refers to these as our triggers, and understanding them is crucial for gaining control over our emotional responses. Emotional triggers can stem from various sources: past experiences, childhood wounds, cultural conditioning, even seemingly insignificant events that have become imbued with emotional weight over time. The key to working with triggers isn't trying to avoid them altogether. That's like trying to outrun a thunderstorm. Instead, Meurisse encourages us to approach them with curiosity and compassion. Emotional resilience is our ability to bounce back from challenges, setbacks, and disappointments stronger and wiser. It's like having shock absorbers on a car. They cushion the impact, allowing us to navigate rough terrain with ease. Building emotional resilience requires developing coping mechanisms and self-care practices. Like a skilled craftsperson, we cultivate resilience by trying different tools and techniques. Mindfulness helps us become aware of our thoughts and feelings without judgment. Focusing on gratitude shifts our perspective from negativity to appreciation. Meaningful connections with friends, family, and community provide support and love essential for resilience. Section 3. Mindfulness in action. Creating space between feeling and reaction. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It's about observing our thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations with curiosity and openness. Think of mindfulness as creating space between the stimulus and our reaction. Instead of reacting habitually, mindfulness allows us to pause, observe, and choose a more skillful response. Section 1. The journey to emotional mastery. Emotional mastery is not a destination, but a journey. It's about understanding ourselves and navigating the full spectrum of human experience. Like learning an instrument, it takes time, effort, and embracing setbacks. Some days we soar high, emotions in sync with our values. Other days we face turbulence, feeling grounded. Approach this journey with self-compassion and a willingness to learn. Section 2. Your takeaways for today. Emotions are signals, like a car dashboard. Pay attention without judgment. Challenge thinking traps, like catastrophizing and mind reading. Rewrite limiting beliefs with empowering affirmations. Shift from rigid expectations to flexible intentions. Focus on what you can control for inner peace. Section 3. Join the conversation. We've covered a lot of ground in this video, but this is just the beginning of the conversation. We'd love to hear from you. What resonated most with you from Master Your Emotions? What strategies are you most excited to implement in your own life? Share your thoughts, insights, and questions in the comments below. Let's continue this journey of emotional growth and self-discovery together. And don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated on future videos exploring the fascinating world of emotional intelligence, personal development, and living a more mindful, meaningful life. Thanks for watching.